So, you guys are having the opportunity now to edit your texts that are going into the captions for the prints that are on here in the home gallery. So I want to hear from you and for our audience, how you feel that experience of writing labels for that exhibition differs from other types of class assignments. Is it the same as most class assignments?
I thought it was much more critical thinking, but it hurt leaving there and looking at all the prints like over and over. And I feel like I spent a lot more time on this project than like any other project I've done for the school so far.
Because the objects are there for you to look at.
Well, and so much of it was looking at the prints. So,
Yes.
I couldn't take a picture of it and take it home.
Yes.
I had to be there to look at the prints.
You had to be there in the library, in the gallery, looking at the prints in order to do the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, were you going to say something? I heard someone.
I was just nodding because, especially when it came from matching the matrices to impressions.
Yes.
That took me, I know, a really long time to finally say this impression for sure matches that.
Yes.
So now I can tie it in and finally compare it to see if it was layered with other matrices.
Okay. Good.
Or worked on different.
Okay.
There's also different writing. We had to write about, or write for a viewer, so you had to point out things while you're writing, I guess when I was writing, I was right in front of the object, so I didn't think, okay, I'm going to tell them to look
Yes.
at this one overlapping this color.
Okay. So it was a different type of writing as well. It wasn't writing for your professor. It wasn't writing for your classmates even. It was writing for a very specific viewer who is visiting this exhibition. So you know the space that the reader will be reading, and you're active in directing your attention through your writing. Great. Were you going to say something? Please say something.
I felt like it was a chance to instill some knowledge that we had done on something.
Okay, so you were sharing what you had learned. Well, I think exhibitions are definitely places where we share. So I think that's a great comment. That is through your writing, especially when you're sharing what you've learned in this classroom to people who aren't in this classroom. Were you going to say something?
For this subject, it's you could know the making process, but for the other art other art assignment, you could only look at the paintings, and you could not know how does it make. But for this assignment, we have different matrices,
Yes.
and you could know which one is related to this painting and how those related. So it's really fun.
So you were really thinking about the making of these objects. That is usually hidden. Usually when you go to see an exhibition, you don't see the paintbrush. But here, instead of a paintbrush and printmaking, we have matrices, and the matrices were on too. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I thought it was great to have the subject of what we're writing about right in front of us, so we can study all the details and really come up with our own ideas about what the artist was thinking and what the subject is about.
Okay, so do you have something to say too?
Found myself using simpler, more concise language because the viewer's not there to look at what you wrote. That writing is just there to supplement their viewing experience.
Okay, so these texts are different from other types of writing assignments that you've received in this class and in other classes. In that type of supplementary, I like that word, that supplementary role that this writing has to the objects against which, next to which they will be displayed. And Caroline, you were going to say something?
I would say kind of what Michael was saying, you have to be careful of how you describe the objects and the print so that the audience can actually really understand it, and so you act like the teacher in a way.
Yes.
That's what we've learned in class.
Okay, good. Ellen, did you say something?
I like the assignments. It was different from any other assignments that I've ever done before, and it was kind of hard to keep everything in the words or so.
Yes.
And so I have to be concise and kind of specific, so the reader would go to the work part from there.
Okay. Did everyone say something? Did everyone say something?
I didn't say anything, but I already took my class up.
Let me say something again.
Well, it was nice because like we know that these writings will be next to the artwork, so you can direct the viewer to certain things within the pieces.
Yes.
So that's more, you could be more specific.
Okay.